And that breaking news is out of the South Bay, where a 4.5 earthquake hit about half an hour ago near Tres Pinos, just south of Hollister. Good afternoon, I'm Kristen Z.
I'm Larry Beal. Thanks for joining us. The most important thing so far, no reports of damage at this point. But let's go straight to Spencer Christian with a look at exactly where this happened and what we know about the quake.
Yes, that is good news, Larry, that we have no reports of any damage right now. So we know that we had the 4.4 or 4.5, depending on which measure you're getting. That was the greater of the two. And then there was an aftershock of 2.0, as you can see on this graphic. Are we taking that graphic right now? I'll give you a look at this graphic. Yeah, there you go. You can see 2.0 just it's east of Salinas, and the other one was just south of Hollister, the larger quake. So that was just the past hour that the 2.0 occurred. The 4.5 magnitude hit at 3:23 p.m. with a depth of 13 miles. Let's move along and give you a look at where the fault lines are. You can see the Calaveras fault is the one that runs closer to Hollister. Hollister, in fact, is right over that fault line. So earlier, we were assuming, some of us, that this must have been associated with the San Andreas fault because of its location down in the South Bay. But clearly, if it's near Hollister, it's probably more likely to be associated with the Calaveras fault. Let me move along here and give you another view. Back to the two centers of the two separate quakes. The 4 point, let me see, move that. There you go. You see our logos up there above the first one. That occurred, the 4.5 at 3:23 this afternoon, a depth of 13 miles, and then not much longer after that was the 2.0 magnitude. And again, you can see two major fault lines running through that region, the Calaveras and the San Andreas fault. So clearly this is an area that is quite earthquake prone, as is the entire Bay Area, but particularly here where the two fault lines run so closely together. That's all the information we have right now, but we're still trying to get more updates from some official source at the USGS. Kristen and Larry?
All right, thank you so much, Spencer. Just real quickly, Hollister police have just told us that people are calling in to talk about this quake and ask about the quake, but so far no reports of damage in that area.
Yeah, that's the best news of all. Let's get to ABC 7 News reporter Lauren Martinez, who is live in San Jose. And Lauren, you felt the quake, and how much rumbling did you feel?
I did. I was sitting down at my desk, and I would say I felt a jolt, and I recognized exactly what was going on. I'd say maybe just less than 5 seconds of how long it lasted, but I feel like this shake was one that you really had to feel if you were sitting down. I've been seeing people comment on social media that they were walking around, they didn't feel anything. They were driving, of course they didn't feel anything, but I for sure felt it when I was sitting down at my desk. And I actually looked up at my colleague Zach Fuentes, who was sitting down as well, but he didn't feel it, which was really interesting. It was just one of those moments where it didn't last long enough for me to say, Zach, are you feeling this? But I definitely knew exactly what it was, and I just, moved back to the Bay Area a couple months ago, so this has been a while since I've felt an earthquake. It's been years, actually, since I felt one, so definitely recognized what was happening at the time. Kristen, you asked me earlier how far the epicenter is to Hollister. It looks like it's about 6 miles, as you were reporting, in Tres Pinos, an area that's a lot of agricultural land, but we will make our way there to Gilroy and eventually Hollister just to get reaction and see if anyone's experiencing or how they experienced the earthquake down there.
Right. All right, Lauren, thank you so much. And we want to go to your colleague not too far away, ABC 7 News reporter Dustin Dorsey, also in San Jose, South San Jose, though, because Dustin also felt it from the second floor.
Yeah, Dustin, if you're on the second floor, there's a good chance you're going to feel a little bit more rumbling, but what was it like? Can you describe the experience yourself?
Yeah, it's really funny, Larry and Kristen, as I was sitting here in my office working on wrapping up my story here for the 4 o'clock news, I did feel that rumble. Lauren about hit the nail on the head, about 5 seconds long. But as I looked outside and I saw the trees moving around, I really thought it was the wind. We've been having obviously some really seriously strong winds here today, a more mild day, but enough to where I felt maybe could rumble my windows a little bit. Soon getting messages from my entire family, making sure everyone's okay. There was a 4.5 earthquake here, obviously, in South San Jose. And kind of like Lauren said, it was really a mixed bag of who felt it. My parents down here in South San Jose, they felt it as well. My sister that works in Morgan Hill and my wife that works in East San Jose, didn't feel it whatsoever. Even moving towards that epicenter down there, in the southern part of Santa Clara County. Luckily, that area, we're hearing that there is no reports of damage. That's great news. It's a farming community, obviously, in that Hollister area, not a lot of tall buildings, things like that. But just like we said, here on the second floor here in South San Jose, definitely felt the rumble here, and just glad to hear that everybody's okay at this time.
All right, thank you, Dustin. I should mention, you know, some people feel it, some people don't. I was up in our sports department.
Did you feel it?
Our producer, no, well, that was the funny thing. Our producer, Casey Pratt, was sitting down, and he said, I think we're having an earthquake. I was literally 3 feet away from him, and I said, we're not having an earthquake. I thought it was a garbage truck going by on the outside, because we get that from time to time. But so it's weird how, you know, we can experience different things only a few feet apart.
That's right. There's an insensitive Larry joke in there, but I'm not going to make it. No, but you're absolutely right. Perception and the feeling of, you know, and what it takes for you to register is individualized, for sure. So we want to talk more about this with Angie Lux, who's a project scientist with Earthquake Early Warning at UC Berkeley's Seismology Lab, because this is an interesting conversation about the early warning, right? Because that's the holy grail, where if you can give people an early warning, even if it's just a few seconds, it can make a world of difference.
But here's the thing with the app, because
app?
Depending on your settings, you know, I think I have it set above 4.5. I didn't get any kind of notification, but also distance from the epicenter. I think you could program that as well. So, you know, Hollister, you know, it's about 93 miles away from San Francisco. It might be out of the range of my settings. So you really have to look at the app and the settings to make sure you're prepared. But that you'll be ready for the next one.
Very true. All right, right now we want to bring in Angie Lux to talk to us about what we know so far about this particular quake. Did you feel it are you in Berkeley right now?
The East Bay. I'm in Castro Valley, so I'm a little bit further south than that. But I did not feel it. I did not actually get an alert either. Just as you were explaining, I kind of quote the end of what you were saying. My shake does have a couple of thresholds. So in addition to the magnitude threshold, which it was above the magnitude 4.5 alerting threshold, we do only alert out to a radius of people that we think are going to feel at least fairly strong shaking. We don't want to, you know, bother everybody, especially for an earthquake that's not that big, but we're trying to alert people who are nearby who may feel that shaking.
What do you expect in the way of aftershocks? I think Spencer Christian was mentioning that we already have had one of a magnitude of 2.0.
That's right. So anytime there's an earthquake, we see aftershocks happening. So this wasn't a huge earthquake. It was a magnitude 4.6 or so. So we can expect aftershocks to continue. We can see magnitude 3s, perhaps. We'll definitely see lots of magnitude 2s and smaller. There's always a possibility that we might see a larger earthquake. We never know if this is a foreshock until we see something larger later on. But this is another great reminder to always be prepared. You know, make sure you got your earthquake kit, because something like this is again, not that big, but we do live in earthquake country. So we should always be prepared.